Hey Canucks fans, it's time for another edition of Ask Me Anything. I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Monday, January the 24th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Okay, I always do these vlogs on Sunday, but because Sunday was a game day, and hopefully you saw either my live stream or my post-game recap, a 3-1 loss to the St. Louis Blues in Bruce Boudreau's 1,000th career regular season game coaching as a head coach. That didn't sound that good. Let's try that again. In Bruce Boudreau's 1,000th regular season game as a head coach. That sounds a lot better. Yes, they were mustered up a lot of shots, but not a lot of offense, if that makes sense. So hopefully they'll start to get more of their players back this week, starting with tomorrow against the Edmonton Oilers on a night where they celebrate Lunar New Year. And I'm supposed to be involved in that somehow. I haven't seen the final product yet, so I'll share about that as I see it or hear about it. Let's get to your questions. Thanks to everyone who submitted these questions to me. Spencer McCann says this: do you see Spencer Martin? So Spencer and Spencer. Do you see Spencer Martin becoming a solid backup for Demko so that we can trade Halak? I've said this a couple times over the past couple days. Let's not get too excited about one performance. It was a great performance, but it was only one performance. Just like we wouldn't get too down on him, I hope, if he had a poor performance. Having said that, I think we have to look at the bigger picture here. And if you can move Halak to a team, if we're already out of the playoff race, then yes, I think you consider trading Halak to a team that wants some playoff insurance. And then you can use Spencer Martin or DiPietro or anyone else to wind up the season as a backup to Demko. But that's only if you're out of the playoff race. If you're still in the playoff race, you need someone solid to back up Demko to just in case he gets hurt heading into the playoff race or, God forbid, in the playoffs themselves. So I truly think trading Halak will be based on where the Canucks are at the trade deadline. But I'm not ready to anoint Spencer Martin as the backup this year or even the backup of the future. I do think next year it will be a combination, a battle behind Demko of Halak, Silovs, DiPietro, and maybe one other veteran goaltender. Aiden Quigley says the same thing. Do you think we should trade Halak? Same answer. Depending on where we are in the playoff race at the trade deadline. If we don't, looks like we're not going to make it, then yeah, you trade him for some assets instead of losing him as a UFA. If you are in a playoff race, then you don't trade him because you need him to help you in that playoff race. Brian says, in your honest opinion, who do you think will get traded, or who will we pick up? Anybody new before the trade deadline? And who do you think we will pick up or trade for at all? Okay, so a lot of trade questions there. Again, it's situational. It depends on where we are at the trade deadline. I can't see us being buyers. I just don't see us in a place where we're going to give up more picks and prospects for, say, a rental. And Jim Rutherford has already talked about that. And I don't think we even have the cap space to do such a thing. So I see some minor moves, maybe for to change up the D a little bit, maybe to change up the mix in the bottom six. And maybe it is a trade of Halak. I don't see anything big like Besser, Miller, Horvat. Well, Miller and Horvat still have another year. I know there's a lot of talk about Miller, which I'll get to in a later question, but I just have a feeling that the Canucks aren't going to make any big trades this season. That's just my gut feeling, unless we are completely out of the playoff race, and then it's time to look at maybe a Halak or a Mott or maybe even a JT Miller. Actually, let's talk about that now. JQCKO, I'm not sure how you say that, says, trade rumors going around that the Rangers are interested in Miller and Schenn. Thoughts? Makes sense. Both would be solid pickups. Miller in particular, you get this year prorated and next season at $5.25 million. That's a steal for a top 10 scorer. Well, he was a top 10 scorer in the league, maybe not anymore. And Schenn would be solid third pairing insurance guy for a playoff run. So I could see why any team would be interested. I haven't looked through the Rangers roster in terms of prospects, picks, young players, who we'd want to get back. But it doesn't surprise me that the Canucks will field calls on guys like Miller, Schenn, Mott, Halak going forward. I lie. After Friday's game, and presuming the worst, that Demko, Halak, Miller, Horvat, Garland are all out until the Olympic break, what team record would you expect be happy with the Canucks over the next 6 games? So I lie asked this before we lost, so now it's over 5 games, or 6 games including a loss. I think you still Yeah, while you recognize that you're missing so many good players, you still need to keep your head above water in the playoff race. So I think you got to go 3-3 over these 6 games. Now they've lost the first one. They got to go 3-2 in the next 5. However, they do get, I think they're going to get Miller and Demko back sooner because they quarantined in Canada. At least that's what people were telling me on my stream last night. Trevor, did you like Justin Bailey's game? Do you think Boudreau will want to keep him in the lineup? He had a pretty good game on Friday. He had even a better game last night with only 7 minutes of ice time, but 4 shots on goal. I always say this about Bailey's game. He's good at getting to the net. He's got good wheels, but he doesn't have the best hands. And once he gets to the net, he doesn't really make, it's not like he makes poor decisions, but it's not like he's scoring a lot of goals either, despite his speed and his opportunities. So I think he does bring you some speed, a different look. So I think if anything, he will be a 4th line player. He'll play between 7 and 10 minutes a game, but nothing more than that. Crispy Assassin, do you think Hamonic should be traded this offseason so $3 million will come off the books? When would Jet Wu be ready for the NHL? Well, I think Jet Wu is about 2 years away still. 2 years away from being a solid 3rd pairing contributor. I think Hamonic or Pullman should be traded because in Hamonic, Pullman, and Schenn, you have basically the same guy. A right hand, sure, a steady guy, but not going to give you a lot of offense. So I think you try and move Pullman or Hamonic somehow. I think Schenn's contract is too good to move, so maybe you try and move Hamonic or Pullman. So I think it's a possibility. But I think Hamonic, baggage is probably the wrong word, but I think there's a lot of issues and a lot of things that maybe might have teams shy away from him. Christopher Chen says, who would you select as our next GM? And it says window, so I'm not sure if he means what window. So I think it's going to happen by the end of this month, so in the next week. And I think it is going to be Patrick Allvin. I really do. He's always been the front runner. I think he still will be, giving his connections to Jim Rutherford in Pittsburgh. I would love a guy. I've always talked about Chris McFarland out of Colorado or Eric Tulsky out of Carolina, but those guys are probably being groomed maybe to take spots in those respective cities. But those 2 guys, with the way they've built teams, are good as well. But I'd be fine in seeing what Patrick Allvin could do. Zach says, what's your second favorite team? That is the Winnipeg Jets. And if you're asking about my 3rd and 4th favorite teams, it goes Tampa and then Colorado in that order. So I like Vancouver, Winnipeg, Tampa, and Colorado. Do I like video games? I used to, but as a 47-year-old man, I don't have time to play them. I play Wordle and I play some NHL on my Sony, my PlayStation with the boys, but that's really about it. I don't play any first-person shooter games or role-playing games or strategy games or war games. And I play Jackbox too on our PS4 as well. And lastly, FMD789 says, do you or your family like to go camping or fishing? I'll admit, we're not the most outdoorsy type family. We do like hiking, exercising. We like going to the beach. That counts as outdoors. But we're not big campers or fishers. As much as I eat sushi, we don't do it a lot. We never really we're taught to go, so we don't do it a lot. I'd say Sean goes camping the most out of the 5 of us. He goes with his girlfriend Fernanda and Fernanda's family. They'll go do a few trips a year, especially in non-COVID times. But for the rest of us, not really. We're more inside type people, or if we're outside, we're doing sports or we are at the beach. Okay, friends, thank you for your great questions. I hope I answered them to your satisfaction. I want to give a special thank you to my sponsors, Perform and Transform, personal training and weight loss. Sign up now for a free 7-day trial. Use the link in my video descriptions. And thank you to Van City Experts Real Estate Group. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my legend members, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, hero members, nucksfan number 29 and Carol Bovenlander, Hall of Fame members, Jens95, simalexander, Chris Seifried, Adam Brewfield, Shannon Hollingworth, HSM Fangirl Gaming, Smooth Move, and Funk Q. Thank you for your support as always, and thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You are listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or in my videos or the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member or upgrade if you'd like to. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to, your reaction to any of my answers, or if you want to give your answers to those questions as well. That's fine with me. And join Parker and me at 10 p.m. tonight right here on YouTube for the next episode of Canucks After Dark. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.